Opening statement. First of all, being very proud of our offense tonight. They were relentless and started in the first inning, and it continued all the way, till that last run scored and stuff. I thought that was outstanding. We needed to do that, and really was good to see that from many guys. And Dalton McIntyre had an unbelievable night, and very proud of those guys, but also proud of the pitchers. To be able to just use two guys on a short week sets us up well for the rest of the weekend.
Are you concerned your team didn't draw any walks tonight?
No, I'd rather. I like to hit, so they were very aggressive, and they went out there and attacked, and had a lot of barrels and a lot of backside hits, which is awesome too, and really had a lot of momentum.
What was just key of jumping out on their guy like that? I think he had one of the top ERAs in the conference.
I think we had a really good plan. I think, Coach Creel, Coach Brewer, Coach Rose really had a good plan for them to, try to take something away. And I thought they did a good job. I thought they stuck to it. And, momentum's real, in this game. And when you can jump out like we did and then keep adding and stuff, we never really, even though when they struck for that 3-run inning, we got the momentum back. So that was a key tonight.
How big of a result is this? I mean, for the offense, just kind of had those ups and downs and then just breaks through for a 20-hit game like that.
Well, it builds confidence. I mean, you got to draw from that, and I think, guys, after a night like tonight, hopefully they're even more confident and more relaxed, and it'll, carry over. I mean, I can't sit here and say I expect them to go get 20 hits again tomorrow, but just have good at-bats and try to get their swings off.
Early on, a lot of big 0-2 hits. The guy was there to be hit. Any comment to that?
Yeah, I mean, great job with 2 strikes and getting those nuts. That's devastating if for a pitcher. And I know as a pitching coach, calling pitches, when you give up those two strike, 0-2, 1-2 hits, that's demoralizing. So that was a great job by our guys of using the whole field and doing that.
I know you touched on it a little bit, but Dalton McIntyre 5 for 5. I guess Matthew Etzel last year, Dalton McIntyre, how is he kind of feeling that way? I know Etzel's a different player, but just how's he feeling that way?
I think Dalton is being himself. He's fine with hitting a ground ball, on the backside and letting his speed get him there, but he's got extraordinary hand-eye coordination, and we've seen that all year. And he moves the baseball, and he hits the ball hard too. I mean, so he's done a great job. Very proud of him, and that was a big night for him.
Speak to Niko's start, maybe one of his best starts of the season.
I thought his stuff was as good as it's been all year. His fastball, mid-90s, and was pounding the zone with it. And, his cutter was really working. He mixed in the slider and changeup. So we had four options to go at. And they're a good hitting team, don't get me wrong. And we had to pitch, and he did. And I'm proud of Niko for the fact that, a short rest, kind of uncharted waters, a little bit 5-day turnaround. And he rang the bell, and he did it. So we needed that tonight.
Was Gillespie coming out? Was that just a matter of getting Russo just some looks or just
defensive purposes? We kind of found some rhythm with that. I think Russo's a very good defender. I'm not saying Davis is not, but we thought it was the right time to do it. And and I was proud that Matthew got a chance to get that walk-off hit too.
Good.
All right, thanks, guys.
Niko, just how easy is it to pitch out there when the offense scores 15 runs? I think it was 6 when you were pitching.
Yeah, it's awesome. Takes a little bit of the pressure off, but you still got to get after them.
What's kind of key of trying to keep Troy's offense at bay? I know that's a really good hitting team.
Yeah, it is. I think getting ahead early in counts, and I try to pitch it in a good bit tonight. Kind of keep those power hitters away from getting extended a little bit, but credit to them, great lineup. Just executed some pitches when I needed to.
Obviously, you had it.
I was talking about you having 4 pitches going tonight. Did you have a feel, or you knew that was going to be a thing for you when you were warming up in the pen?
Honestly, no, not really. I never really know what's going to be kind of the pitch I go to most that night until I get out there and kind of get going.
Had a tough week last week, obviously, the Saturday to Thursday, kind of a weird rest. How did you just flush that and put a performance on this tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. I needed to get that taste out of my mouth from Georgia Southern, but short week, but we recovered. We did as good as we could.
Is it a good thing to have a shorter week just so you can not dwell on that as long?
A good thing for mental, probably not as good for our physical.
What changes when you physically when it's different?
I mean, you just don't have as much rest. You probably don't feel as fresh as you do if you have like a full 7-day week.
Still go 100 pitches though. You have to feel good about that.
Yeah, I did. I mean, once you get out there and adrenaline gets flowing, you feel. I mean, I don't feel like anything can stop me.
You know, obviously you could say that, you know, this team and Troy is pretty much at the top of the hierarchy in the Sun Belt, 2 regional teams from last year. To be able to get the Game 1 win, how huge is that for you guys?
Oh, it's really big, especially winning in that fashion where we put up a bunch of runs and don't have to play all 9 innings. It saves a lot of arms, and we look good going into Game 2 and 3.
What's it like watching Dalton McIntyre play?
I mean, I feel like he does something new every game. It always surprises me. I mean, everybody's talking about how he went 5 for 5, but he made some really good plays in the outfield for me too.
I'll hold it for you. 5 for 5. Man, how huge is that? Seems like a dream, right?
It's honestly crazy. You never go into a game expecting to get on base 5 times, of course, but it's a really good feeling.
Have you ever done that in your collegiate career at least?
I don't think I've ever had 5 hits in a game ever. You know, I think maybe 3 or 4 here or there, but this is honestly crazy.
What was key on getting their starter out so quickly?
We had a great approach today. Everybody, we really bought into it early. We worked on it during BP and in the cages and everything, and they really drilled it into our head that we got to stick to the approach, and we did.
Can you speak a little bit to that approach?
The approach today, he's more of a guy that liked the off-speed stuff. So for the righties, definitely, he was saying that, you know, you can't cheat to it, you got to be on time for it. And for the lefties, he was saying, you know, it's a pretty good mix. You got to be on time for the heater, but expect other stuff, see something up in the zone, and try to just stay on top of it.
Since the last time I talked to you, you've really owned that leadoff spot. I feel like, you know, when you set the tone, the rest of the offense is comfortable too. How much do you pride yourself in that?
I really, you know, it's a big toll on me if I don't get my job done, because I know those guys behind me, they're really good. I mean, they can get me in. I just got to do my job and get on base. So every time I go up there, I'm trying to just think, if I get on base, one of these next 3 guys are going to get me in. So,
You know,
Do you think you could get 5 extra base hits in a game?
that one's really difficult. It had to be a lot of balls that I hit right down the line. I just got to speed to second. That's probably the only way I'll get that one. But
how do you...
I thought it was kind of interesting. The shortstop continued to shade you up the middle, and you just kept playing it your backside. And
it's a little different. Most of the games, you know, even after my first at bat, if they are playing up the middle, they'll start playing in that 6-hole. I don't know. I think it might be that he was holding on the runners, but I don't know. I was just trying to find the holes, trying to stick to my approach, and luckily he couldn't get there a few times. So.
How do you try to process this? Obviously 5 hits, big deal, but still a game tomorrow and then Saturday. How do you try to, like, you know, kind of move on but still, you know, be happy about it, I guess?
I mean, it's just another game. You know, you always want to succeed. You never bank on failing, of course, but it's a game built around failure. I know I'm more than likely not going to come out here and get 5 hits tomorrow. It's not something that's going to happen, but maybe one of the guys behind me will have 5 hits, and I get to, you know, not have to, but, you know, not be as involved, I guess.
It has to feel good to be, I mean, what's the math? A fifth of the hits tonight? I mean, you have to feel good about being that involved.
It definitely feels good, but I mean, I'm just hitting singles. The guys behind me are doing the harder work. I'm just trying to get on base for them. The guys behind me are really, you know, fighting, competing to, you know, get me from first all the way to the plate. I mean, I still got 3 bases to go after I get on. So those guys are really fighting behind me to get me there.
I know perhaps it might not be, like, you know, the best time for you emotionally, especially, you know, the last couple of weeks and stuff, but to have all the success on the baseball field, how has that really helped you? You know what I mean?
I mean, it's really helped bring me up. You know, there's a lot of things that haven't been great, of course, but, you know, you can't look at the bad stuff. I mean, every day I get to wake up and come to this beautiful ballpark and play baseball, practice with 40 of my best friends and the best coaches in the world. So it's a really good feeling.
How about just you in the field? Where's your comfort at right now playing center field? I know we're all talking about you at the plate, but what about just in center field?
I mean, I love center field. I mean, it's like I'm on my own island out there to an extent. You know, it's kind of hard to hear everybody. Kind of out there on my own. I kind of got to fend for myself, I guess. But it's really fun out there. I mean, there's a lot of conversations with myself. A lot of, you know, preparing myself for going up to the plate even. So.
Is it just those conversations with yourself? Is it just like at bats, or are you having like just going through a bunch of different things.
Anything. If I see something, plane flying, you know, I try to focus for the most part, but sometimes it gets hard. I see a plane flying, I'm like, I wonder who's in that plane, stuff like that. But then I also think about my at-bats, of course. But
Let's do one more if y'all got it.
I'm not sure how relevant this is to you, but obviously last year Matthew Letzel had a huge impact at the top of the order. Now you're the leadoff guy. You kind of pay attention to that. Maybe try to, I guess, have a similar impact. I'm not sure if that's relevant.
you know, there's a lot of great players that came through here before me in that spot, in that position even. You know, you always want to do well. You want to do anything you can to help the team win. So really coming in, I just wanted to have as big of an impact as I could. I didn't try to like mimic after somebody, just kind of be myself and do whatever they needed me to do.